on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Superpower Review. I'm your host, Ken Virginia, and as we all know, yesterday was New Comic Book Day, so I picked up a few things, and I'm gonna, show them to you guys. I like to show you guys when I pick up a few things, so I can show you what I'm reading, and maybe you guys can get a little bit interested in what I'm reading as well. And then, you can always put in the comment section too on what you're reading, because I also like to know what you guys are reading. So up first, we got, bam! We got Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is part 3 of 4. Well, I'm sorry. This is the 3rd series, and this is comic book number 4. So this has been a really cool story. Last issue, we got a really cool mix-up origin story of Batman and the Turtles. And in case if you haven't read that yet, I won't really spoil it for you. But it was, I knew I was complaining about seeing an origin story, but this was a really cool origin story in the last issue, where it's just things get mixed up. It was really cool. So what's going on in this series pretty much is that Krang and the Anti-Monitor are the villains in this series. We have crosses. The universe between Batman and the Turtles are crossed over. As you can see, Joker kind of looks like a Shredder character, like he's a mix of Shredder and the Joker. And then we got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as Batman's Robin. So it's been a really cool read. I do have to say that this hasn't been as good as a read as the last 2 series, but it is still a really fun read. And I know I mention this all the time in my videos, but this is one of my favorite team-ups. And again, another ditto. This is the series that got me back into collecting comic books back in the day. I think the first time this came out was 2014, 2015. So it's been out for a little while, and I really love this team up. This happens to be the Kevin Eastman variant. I always kind of go like back and forth on who I'm going to choose between the Freddie Williams art cover or the Kevin Eastman cover. But it's another really cool thing too about these series is that Kevin Eastman is actually a guest artist in this series, which is also a pretty cool treat as well. So been a really fun read. I know Jake Brownell, who's sometimes a guest on the show too, he's really into this series because he's huge in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman as well. So if you're a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan and a Batman fan, and if you're both at the same time, this is definitely a good read to be picking up. So I'm wondering what's going to happen to the end of the series and how Batman and the Turtles are going to make things right so they can go back to their own universe. So that's the first book I picked up. 2 books I picked up today, by the way. And so this next book I'm going to show you, I haven't been reading a lot of these comic books, but I do know what these comic books are about because I follow a lot of people on YouTube who've been talking about these books. Me personally, I'm not huge into big comic book events because I just feel like they drag out too long, number one. All these stories go into, different comic books like the Hulk and yada yada. They just bleed through all these comic books. But I had to pick this one up. But I do know what it is about. So I picked up Absolute Carnage number 1. This is the Codex variant or the Andy Granov variant. And so again, I'm not really reading a lot of these books. Again, I do know what it's roughly about, but I had to pick this book up because this cover is sick. I remember I follow Andy Granov on Instagram, and I remember when he was coming up with the sketch for this variant cover, and when I first saw it, I was like, wow, this cover is amazing. And seeing it on cover right now, it came out awesome. I really love the background of this cover with the pinks and kind of the blues. And so it kind of looks like that for anyone who watched or watches Naruto, it looks like he's kind of like Naruto running, and he's Naruto running down the mountain to Area 51 to break out all the other symbiotes that are locked there, and he's going to release them. That's what this cover looks like to me. So anywho, again, I'm not really following this story closely, the Absolute Carnage, but what I've heard about it and what I've roughly read about it is that it does look really good. Pretty much Carnage is taking anybody who has had a connection of a symbiote, dead or alive, and he's collecting these codexes because apparently when you have a symbiote and the symbiote leaves you, it never really leaves you. It leaves a codex in your body, and Carnage is out to collect these codexes so he can get closer to the symbiote god Null. That's what it's roughly about. Really quick. So that's everything that I picked up for New Comic Book Day. So we got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 4 of the third series, and then we got Absolute Carnage number 1, the Adi Goranov Venom variant cover. So that's what I picked up for this week. I want to know in the comment section what you guys picked up for New Comic Book Day this week, and let me know in the comment section also if you would like me to review these comic books, because I would be more than happy to do that, since it is called Superpower Review. Another thing that I want to say before I go, be sure to check out my last video, especially if you're new to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you liked anything that you saw today. But be sure to check out my last video because I am doing a 600 subscriber giveaway. I won't get too much into detail on what you have to do in the giveaway. Just watch that video and it's going to tell you everything you need to do in order to participate in the giveaway. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.